Hello, YouTube and English 3. So, we've been reading Of Mice and Men, and well, with any book that you read in English class, there's always that question, what is the themes, or what are the themes? And well, if you ever are unlucky enough to have that question asked, at least you can say one of them is isolation and loneliness, and here is why. Now, if you haven't read the book, I suggest going to a different video because, well, spoilers are ahead. Anyhow, so now that's out of the way. The first example of isolation comes from this passage. There wasn't another colored family for miles around, and now there ain't a colored man on this ranch, and there's just one family in Soledad. Now, that was spoken by Crooks on page 70 of this book. I say this book because other versions of the book have it on different page numbers, and it's just weird and crazy.
It is weird and crazy, Ben.
Now, for the people who've read the book, we know Crooks already is a black man, and
Yes, he is.
And he is the only one in the area, pretty much, so he's pretty isolated because no one wants him around. Now, I say they don't want him around because in this passage he says, "'Cause I'm black, they play cards in there, but I can't play because I'm black. They say I stink. Well, I tell you, all of you stink to me," which is spoken by him on page 68 of the book.
They do all stink.
Yeah, they probably do.
In this story, there's an older gentleman by the name of Kennedy.
Get out of here! Get out of here! Alright, as he was saying, there was an older gentleman by the name of Candy. Early in the book, it established that he lost a hand, and he has a dog with him that's pretty much been with him for most of his recent life. Now, during one scene, it's just the people who are sharing the bunk with him pretty much tell him to get rid of the dog because it's giving off a really bad smell and it's really badly limping because it has some pretty bad stuff going on with it. So they managed to convince Candy to get his dog killed.
For a moment, he continued to stare at the ceiling. Then he rolled slowly over and faced the wall and laid silent.
Now, at that point in the book, his dog has been put down, so Candy is all alone in the world since his sole companion is, well, dead. That's kind of isolated, don't you think? A little, possibly? What do you think?
Yeah.
Alright, thanks, Tom. Now, those are only a couple of side characters. Not even the main characters are immune from the theme of isolation. Take the main duo, George and Lenny. Because of Lenny's antics, behavior, and overall mental state and capabilities, we can pretty much presume they've been kicked out of almost every single town, ranch, or other place of possible work they've been in.
Long or short, nobody wants them.
Pretty much. Leaving them a tired pair, looking for a place to settle, nothing and no one but themselves and their clothing in their back. Heck, even the beginning of the book sets itself up in the middle of nowhere with them just talking. Of course, that brings another good example to mind from dear old Lenny himself.
And here's another passage reading from Ben Nelson.
If you don't want me, you only just got to say so, and I'll live in those hills right there, right up in those hills and live by myself. That's pretty much about it. Oh yeah, and a special thanks to Mr. Jackson for allowing us this opportunity, and Tommy Quantz for being that weird guy who's doing everything in the background. And in the words of the Log Brothers, don't forget to be awesome.